Welcome into Just an Average Football Podcast, where every week is football week. Joined by Mason, finally back. Baby's about a month old now, so made it back to the podcast for a quick little episode tonight. We're recording this on a Friday. Divisional football games are on tomorrow and Sunday, so I figured we'd hop on here and give our predictions for these games. Both you and I got a dog in the fight. I've been stressing so bad about this game. Let's go ahead and hop right into it. The first game on tomorrow is actually going to be the Bills and Broncos. So we're going to go through each one of these games. We're going to give our predictions, and then we'll kind of see what that sets up for next week as far as those conference championship games go. So Bills and Broncos, who do you got? And it's okay. You can hurt my feelings on here because I'm probably going to be in the same boat.
No, I honestly think it comes down to I think one thing. If the Broncos defense can stop James Cook and make the Bills one-dimensional and let those defensive linemen of the Broncos who've been great all year be able to pin their ears back and rush the passer, I think it's going to be the Broncos. I think that crowd, the elevation, I think it's going to play a big factor. I mean, when's the last time the Broncos played a really meaningful ball game when they had a really good team? So I think they're really going to be behind them. So I'm going to pick the Broncos in this one.
Wow. The whole week I was saying we're probably going to lose to the Bills, and I keep seeing things like you're seeing the injury report, and it's just like, can Josh Allen really be Superman again and again and again? And I think he can. But what kind of a fan of a team would I be if I'm going to sit here and just pick against my Broncos all the time? So give me the Broncos as well. We're probably going to be on here Sunday evening talking about how they just pooped the bed and, ended up losing 31-7, just like a repeat of last year. But yeah, they've got a lot of guys hurt over there on Buffalo. I seen the injury report. I think they had 15 guys on the injury report. But out of those 15 guys, I think Ed Oliver is now playing. And then they got Curtis Samuel back as well. So elevated Mecole Hardman playing tomorrow. But as far as, defensively, Jordan Poyer is out. So you're going to see Hamlin more back there on the defense. But it should be a good game. Broncos relatively healthy all season. And if we don't win, it's going to be embarrassing. We can't beat the Bills at home with the altitude on 2 weeks rest with basically, everybody healthy, and they've got 14 guys on the injury report. So, fingers crossed. I'm tired of hearing all the Bo Nix slander and hate and everything, and I want him to go. That's if anything, I don't care. You know what? If we lose the game, let Bo Nix at least have a good game. So, because I've heard too many things I don't think he's a franchise quarterback, and it's just I think he is. He's the second year. Give him some time.
Yeah.
So. Wow, we both picked the Broncos there, so we'll pick the Broncos to move on here in this one, and then we're gonna figure out. We'll just stay in the AFC, because the next AFC game is gonna be actually Sunday at 2. So the Broncos play the Bills at 3 tomorrow, our time, 3:30, and then the Texans Patriots. That matchup. I'm intrigued to hear who you have for this one. I think we talked about it a little bit.
Yeah, I think. It all comes down to C.J. Stroud. He can't turn the ball over 3 times. He can't fumble the ball. What do you?
6 times,
3 or 4 fumbles. I don't know.
6 turnovers, whatever it was.
2 of them through a crucial interception in the red zone. But that defense is dominant. So my way of thinking is if C.J. Stroud does the bare minimum, just plays a clean game.
Yeah.
Doesn't turn the ball over. I think that Texans defense is legit. That was the first game of the Texans that I've watched since the Rams played on week 1. And
they've come a long way.
They're legit. So I think it's at New England, but I think give me the Texans.
Yeah,
especially at the left. Especially after I watched the left side of that offensive line against the Chargers. Will Campbell and he really struggled against them. So I think Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter they're going to have the game.
Yeah, and we talk about the Broncos defense it's a great defense. I think it's a great defense. They've been doing great. I think the Texans is an elite defense. I think they are better than us as far as just the way they play and how aggressive they are and how they fly around. We do the same thing, but
Hmm.
man, if when we play, I mean, we played the Texans, and if C.J. Stroud doesn't get hurt in that game, I don't think we win that game against the Texans. But like you were saying, Drake May hasn't played a top 10 defense until the playoffs. I think the Chargers defense this year is top 10. I do believe, don't quote me on that, but you can see how much he struggled against that top 10 defense. I mean, he did not look like the Drake May that we're used to seeing,
Hmm.
through the whole MVP Drake May that we're used to seeing through the whole regular season. So, you're getting the number one defense. And then even if you win this game as the Patriots, we have the Broncos winning, you're going to go see probably the number two, number three defense. So
Yeah.
it'll be really interesting to see how this game plays out. I also have the Texans winning this game just because I think that defense is going to be too much to overcome. But we could be completely wrong. This might
Yeah.
all be flipped. I mean,
Yeah.
we've talked about this a lot. There's no single juggernaut in this year's playoffs.
Hmm.
I think it could be anybody's game. So,
Yeah.
um,
There's a lot of parity this year in the league. But
yeah,
another thing I'm thinking about too with the Texans and Patriots matchup is I'm just really trying to think hard, like with the Patriots wide receivers, like who do they have out there that's a difference maker? No, Stephon Diggs is the same
Diggs.
Stephon Diggs he was with the
Is it
Bills.
Butte? Is that his name?
You got yeah, Booty. Yeah, I think it's literally just Booty. I
Booty,
think it's Booty
and
or
then
Booty. But
Boutte or something like that.
yeah, but I
Yeah,
just, I mean, you have to think about, you got Stingley,
yeah,
Petrie, Lassiter.
yeah,
I mean, I
yeah,
just don't see many guys on that team that's going to get some separation there. So
yeah.
I I I got to lean
Hunter
Texans.
Henry, I think if you can attack, and get to your tight end, which that's the touchdown they got last week against the Steelers, that kind of broke things open was that touchdown to Hunter Henry.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, oh no, it wasn't the Steelers. It was the who'd they play last week? The
Chargers.
Patriots played the Chargers. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what kind of broke things open a little bit. But that was a close game the whole entire time.
Hmm.
Until I mean, I feel like both those games, both the Texans Steelers game and the Chargers Patriots game, you can't just look at look at the score and be like, man, those were
Yeah.
blowouts because they were not. I mean,
Yeah.
they were close all the way until the fourth quarter. But
Yep.
all right, so we have the Broncos moving on and Texans moving on. So Broncos Texans conference championship game. And then let's go over to the NFC side. Boy, oh no, you have to wait till 5:30. So the first of the NFC games is going to be on. Oh yeah, you do have to wait the longest. Never mind.
Hmm.
I'm looking at
Yep.
this. It is Sunday night. We're
Yep.
actually we'll hit that last then. We're gonna go 49ers Seahawks. That's tomorrow at 7. Interesting news coming out that Sam Darnold might not play in this game. I don't know if there's any current news about that or not, but
The last thing I seen was on ESPN that McDonald, his last comment on it was that he is very optimistic that he'll play. So I thought, like, okay, just a slight oblique tweak, like
yeah,
light participant. He's just going to take it nice and easy. But when he came out and said like he's optimistic that he's playing, so it's like, oh, it truly is questionable that he
yeah,
is going to play.
which is
But
crazy.
yeah, it's just getting hurt. You've been resting for a couple weeks now, and
You
all of a
got
sudden
hurt on a 2 week bye.
uh,
It's insane.
it's crazy. But
Yeah, that game though, I think the 49ers played a really good game against the Eagles. It was tight the whole entire time. Pulled it out there at the end. They lost George Kittle in the process. I think the Seattle Seahawks defense is going to be too much for them to overcome. I think Seattle wins this game. It's in Seattle. It's going to be loud. It's gonna be a tough environment for them to go into, and then obviously losing your best weapon, other than Christian McCaffrey there on the
mhm.
offense. Give me Seattle in this game. If Sam Darnold doesn't play, that changes things. I think it's tighter, maybe. I don't know. I think that could change the game if he doesn't play. But as of right now, we're saying that he's healthy. So
Mhm.
give me the Seahawks.
I go back and forth because I actually picked the Niners to beat the Eagles last week. Like me and you were talking about that little
Yeah,
playoff fantasy kind of pick 'em
yeah,
thing we're doing, and even after Kittle, I'm like, okay, I'm kind of doubting a little bit, but man, like every time I doubt the Niners, Kyle Shanahan and Robert Sala, even with fifth, sixth, seventh string, linebackers, it's like they keep on. That defense is still playing at an elite level.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
I honestly can see the Niners pulling this one off
Yeah,
because
it's a coin
now, like,
flip, but really, I mean, I think the Seahawks defense is good. It's just I really
yeah,
think that, and it's so weird to say, I think Sam Darnold is the X factor of this game.
it is, but it's really hard to ignore the performance that an even healthier Niners with a healthy George Kittle
Yeah.
had. Week 18 for the number one seed against the Seahawks. I mean,
Yeah.
give me. I'll switch last second. Give me the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Give me the Seahawks.
I
But
think,
if they lose, and
we'll
people
come
come
back
after
to this.
people will come after Sam Darnold, and then like, well, he had no oblique injury. He had no oblique
Yeah,
injury, so that'll
that
be
is
his
true.
excuse if they get bounced.
Yeah,
So
but yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of really good defenses. I feel like that we've talked about so far in the playoffs right now, and
mhm.
defenses travel, and the Seahawks being at home helps them a ton. And
Yeah,
now
until we talk about
finally,
this last game, yeah.
yeah, yeah, and now finally we get to this last game here. Rams at Bears, and I've been seeing. I'm gonna get your opinion on this. I've been seeing a lot of things. Matthew Stafford's 1-8 against.
I've only seen one thing the entire
Yeah,
time, and
he's
it's
he's
been
one and
from everybody.
eight
Yeah.
against when it's below freezing, whatever.
Hmm.
I'm gonna let you. This is your game, so you go ahead and touch on this game first here, and I'd like to see which
Yeah,
way you're
you
leaning.
talked about how you've been stressing yourself out, and I've just been like deep diving on
Yeah,
every different podcast, what everyone has to say, and you know, Bears fans. The only thing that I can hear from Bears fans is it's cold. You gotta come to the cold, which I do. I
yeah,
can I completely understand that is going to have an effect on the game, and I think it's going to affect both teams.
yeah,
Both teams are offensive juggernauts. Where like they notoriously put up a lot of points, even though Caleb Williams usually starts off slow, but at the end of it, by the end of it, they're putting up a ridiculous amount of
yeah.
points in the second half of games. So I think it's going to affect the scoring possibly, especially with the winds. I don't know how many deep balls you're going to be throwing,
Yeah.
in 20, 30 mile an hour winds when it's feels like in the negatives. Um, I think it all comes down to the Rams D line.
Really?
I really do, and this is my reasoning behind it is our DBs are flawed.
That's what I was gonna say
They
personally.
really
Yeah.
are. When our defense was playing at an elite level, three-quarters way through the season, at about halfway or three-quarters way through the season, we were the number one scoring defense ahead of the Texans. We were allowing like 17.3 points per game ahead of the Texans at one point, and that wasn't because of elite secondary play. It was because our pass rushers were actually getting to the quarterback and pressuring, forcing bad throws, tipping passes. Then DBs were able to make take advantage of those opportunities and make get a lot of interceptions. But the last 4, 5, 6 weeks, we haven't been getting as much pressure, and they've been able to sit back in the pocket and kind of pick our DBs apart. We have
Yeah.
a lot shorter, smaller, stature DBs. Um, so
And defensive
I think
lineman for that part.
yeah.
You got freaking Poona Ford. It's like 5'11", 5'10",
Hey,
5'11".
hey, hey! Watch your mouth.
He's
But
good. No, he's really good.
he is. So I don't honestly think I think it comes down to that. But one thing I was talking to Brad about today as well is the only thing I have doubts is it's going to sound crazy is I have doubts of McVay as a play caller, and it's just for this one
Really?
thing. He's been getting so pass happy.
Yeah.
Last week against the Panthers, we were averaging over 5 yards a carry. We were owning the offensive line of scrimmage. It's like keep on running the ball, keep on pounding the ball. I remember
Yeah.
vividly we hand the ball off to I can't remember if it was Kyron Williams or Blake Corum on first down. He runs for 8 yards. Okay, that's so we got 2nd and 2, incomplete pass, interception. It's like
Yeah.
you know we we need to. I think we honestly need to run the ball north of 20, 25 times for us to win this game. We need to control the line of scrimmage, utilize that 13 personnel, that's helped us all year long. Utilize our tight ends, get the run game going, long methodical drives, keep the ball out of Caleb Williams' hands, and then get the play action. Once you get the run game going, then guess what? Guess where Stafford's the most deadly? Play action pass.
Yeah.
Utilize those tight ends, dink and dunk, like I said, long methodical touchdown drives, and then every once in a while, take the deep shot to a Devontae or or a Puka when you lull the defense to sleep. But I think if we can do that, we win. But like you said, I think we'll win, yes. But I could also easily see us, biffing one or two field goals, having a special teams mistake, and losing this game by 2, 3, 4 points. So,
Yeah.
but
Anything can happen. So you are picking the Rams though.
yeah, yeah.
I'm also picking the Rams. You kind of covered all the points and stuff like that. I think you guys' only weakness is I personally think it's like the secondary.
Yeah.
Honestly, so I mean, as long as they step up and like you said, getting the pressure definitely helps up front. Granted, the Bears do have some good weapons. I'll give them that. They
Oh
have some
yeah,
good weapons.
loaded.
Colson Loveland has done really good for them. A lot of their Luther Burden.
Oh yeah, he's turned it on late.
They have depth. So, I still have the Rams winning this game. I think it's going to come down to experience, and I think that I don't think the moment's going to be too big for Caleb Williams, but I don't think you
No.
can continue to dig yourself out of these, 18-point deficits every single week. So, I mean, if the Rams get up big, I don't see the Bears digging themselves out of this one. If they keep it close, I think it's going to be a really good game.
Yeah.
But, we will see. And, you bring up the running the football. It must be a Sean thing because Sean Payton does the same thing. He'll run the ball, average 5.4 yards a carry, whatever. And it's like, let's start passing. So, I don't know. Maybe that's a Sean thing. I don't know.
Exactly. I was talking to Brad about it. I'm like, legitimately, I think the last time I can think of a game where we just ground and pounded the ball, I think was the playoffs 2019 against the Cowboys. And I think at that time we had C.J. Anderson maybe.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we just methodically just pounded the rock. I think we need to do that because I'm not going to take anything away from the Bears. The Bears are legit. I know we've went back and forth on this podcast of whether to crown them or if they were for real or they're frauds.
Yeah.
You can't deny what they've done.
No,
Yes,
yeah.
they've played bad in the first half, but they've got 7 fourth quarter, comebacks. You can't deny that they got something special going on. So
Yeah.
the Rams are notorious for playing with their food, getting complacent, and getting a little bit. What's the word I'm looking for? They just don't get aggressive. They don't stay aggressive on
Yeah.
offense. I think here's the thing: you get up by 16, 18. I don't care. Stay aggressive.
Yep.
Play as if you were down. Like you got to put your foot on these guys' throats. I mean,
Yeah.
you got to actually maybe not even put your foot on their throats. Like you got to end it.
Yeah.
You got to chop the head off this snake, and you can't let these guys hang around because guess what? They have the confidence and the belief
Yeah.
to come back from any deficit in the second half.
Yeah.
So
I mean, look what they did last week. The Packers let them
exactly.
hang around, and
No.
it was over. But it's funny though too. I've been seeing things. It's like if the Bears win, I want nothing more than a Bears Broncos Super Bowl where it's 3 of 3 at halftime, and then the final score is 42-43. It's just like you see something like that happening just because those guys actually start playing in the fourth quarter, which is crazy. But
No, like I said, I hope the Broncos and Texans beat. Because just like I jokingly told you, I would love. I mean, the NFL would hate it. The NFL does not want to see a Broncos Texans
oh
AFC
no,
title
it'd be
because
boring.
it'll be a
3-2.
boo fest. But like I told you, I said 3-2 Broncos win.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it'd be insane. But I mean, right now that's what we've got. We got the Texans at Broncos, and we would have the Rams at Seattle. So we're gonna see how close our predictions are. Obviously, we're gonna hop on here Sunday evening. Depending on when you can hop on, you might not hop on. Mason's gonna be glued to his TV. So me and Casey are gonna be on here probably talk about the games. Hopefully I'm in good spirits, and then hopefully we'll probably check in on Mason about halfway through to make sure he's doing all right, depending on what the score is. So
Yeah.
that's it as far as our score predictions for the divisional round of the playoffs. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you early next week.